This video will review references for websites. First, it will explain the difference between websites that are treated like newspapers, magazines, or journal articles, and those that are simple web pages. Next, it will show how to cite each type of web page. Then, it will discuss some notes on dates and authors. And finally, a variety of samples will be presented with a guided tour of where to find each element on the site. The basic format for any website is author, date in parentheses, title of page in sentence case italics, name of the website in title case regular font, and the URL. This is different from other examples seen so far in that the title is italicized and the source is not. However, online newspapers, magazines, and blogs are cited differently from normal web pages because they are considered periodicals. In these cases, the italics are switched. The title of the blog or article will be regular sentence case, and the website name or source will be an italic title case. This format is exactly the same as journal articles, which are also considered periodicals and were reviewed in an earlier video. It can get confusing when trying to know which type of website reference to use. Online newspapers are ones that release a print version as well as the online version. These include local newspaper websites, as well as national newspapers such as the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, or Washington Post. These also include magazine articles online such as Wired, Psychology Today, The Atlantic, or Time. News sites that do not publish in print will be formatted as a website. These include sites such as CNN, Fox News, Vice, Huffington Post, BBC, or other cable news networks. To keep it simple, remember, for periodicals, the source is italicized. For websites, the title of the article or page is italicized. All other elements are the same, including that all sources are in title case and article titles are in sentence case. The only thing that changes is the italics. Some notes about dates and authors when citing online sources. Dates for online material, especially blogs or other often updated sites, should be as specific as possible with the format year, month, day. For some sites, including medical websites, students may find a last reviewed on date. Ignore this date and do not include it in the reference. If there is no date listed near the top, look for a copyright date at the bottom of the web page. If there is still no date, write N.D. for no date. A retrieval date is only necessary for websites that are constantly updating or changing, such as census, CDC, or financial data, or fact sheets. To include this, write retrieved month, day, year, from, then insert the URL. Authors on websites may be individuals, which are formatted the same as print authors, or the authors may be organizations or groups, such as NASA, CDC, or NIH. Write these groups out by the full name in title case. Do not use acronyms. When the group author is the same as the title of the website, do not repeat the name in the source. Sometimes no author is listed. In this case, start the reference with the title, then the date, followed by the source. Here are some examples of the different types of references students may come across when documenting web sources. To easily identify the elements, authors will be marked in red, dates in green, titles in blue, and sources or website names in orange. This article from the New York Times will be referenced just like a journal because the New York Times is also in physical print. In these types of articles, the author will usually be listed under the article title with the date close by. This is how these elements would come together in a reference. This article from CNN will be formatted differently because CNN is not a print publication. In this case, the title will be in italics and CNN will be in regular font. Again, the author and date are close by. These elements come together to form this reference. Here's a web page that is not a news story, but is still a written article. Again, because Ars Technica is a web-only publication, this will be formatted as a web page like this. This is an example of a group author who is also the title of the website. This page is a little harder to figure out because the date is not immediately apparent. If the date is not at the top of the page, go to the bottom of the page. Use the copyright date if no other date is present. This website has two missing elements. Here's the title, and here's the name of the site, but there is no author or date at the top. Even at the bottom of the page, there is no date listed. In this case, start the reference with the page title in italics, then put N.D. where the date would be between the parentheses. Write the website name in regular font, followed by the URL. This final example is of an online publication released by a government organization. Here, the author is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The date is not at the top, but toward the bottom of the page there is a last modified date. This was the last time changes were made to this page, so it will be used as the date for this reference. The title is Producer and Director, and is in regular font and sentence case. The source is the publication written by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is the Occupational Outlook Handbook. This will be in italics. Follow this with the URL. See how the page looks very similar to a journal? The reference is the same, but finding the elements was a little trickier. If you have questions or need to document a different web-based source, check out the APA 7th edition PowerPoint on the Writing Resources page on the Writing Center website, or contact Dr. Richards at the Writing Center on the second floor of Collier Library.